Hello everybody, my name is Leandro Mada. In this video we're going to see how to work with the alarms inside the EcoStruxure Operator Terminal Expert. What I'm going to do in this example is to connect my Modicon M11.1 with some variables assigned for alarms, and then we are going to define the variables from this PLC in the HMI target so we can trigger the alarms and see how we can visualize those alarms in the HMI. So let's go to the software. I'm going to start with a new application, new project. By the way, in the feature videos you can see the design alarms. So in the target I'm going to select the one I usually work, which is this one. Remember, you can select the orientation. In my case, I'm going to leave it in landscape. Then if you're going to connect to a controller, different PLC, you will need to add a driver. In my case, I'm going to select Modbus TCP. Okay, I'm going to define the name of the device, PLC underscore M221. 182. This is the IP address for my PLC. And then here on the equipment settings, I'm going to specify the IC syntax for this, 0 base, and this one is correct. Perfect. There is nothing else to change on my side. So the first thing that we need to do is to add some variables. Okay, so what I can do is to import this project I have made for the M221 just over here. Okay, just check one thing because I believe I haven't defined a few variables for the alarms. Usually use 100 the position without knowledge, so I'm going to create a few more. Alarm underscore 03, alarm underscore 04, underscore, and alarm underscore 05. Okay, just a generic one. Apply. Then I'm going to connect to the controller, download these changes. Okay, you can use this software or another controller. I'm just going to do this for our example. So we have defined these variables for the PLC. Now, if you're not using the Modicon M221, you can just add the variables that you want. Alarm underscore 03, for example. Define the Boolean or analog value that you have. Define the source as the driver that you have configured. In my case, I have configured this one over here, PLC M221. So I have used that over here in the source. And then the address that you want to use. For example, in my case, it would be 103. Okay, and then the variable is linked. But if, for example, in this case of the Modicon M221, we have the possibility to use the symbol link. Here we have this option, the equipment that we have created, import, and let me just check where I save this project. So you can import the project that you have, and it will link all the variables that you have used in the software. Okay. These one are the variables that are used. Okay. You can see here, and if I'm not wrong, I haven't saved this. That's why we are not able to see these variables over here. So what you can do is to delete the symbol link that you have created. Okay. Yes, I want to delete it. Symbol link. Import again. The same project. Now you can see the new variables I have created. So far what I have done is to define the target and add the variables that I want to use from the PLC in the HMI. Okay, so now what we need to do is to define the alarm group in order to call the variables that we want to be triggered. So if we go to the Project Explorer, here we have the alarms and events. In the alarms, we have all the alarms. I recommend you to enable this in the system error group. And then what we can do is to, here in the alarm group, when we check the all alarms, this option would be enabled. So we need to add an alarm group 1. We can change this name, for example, alarm M221, for example. Okay. Then we have some basic labels that we can change. Okay. I'm not going to change anything on this. And for each alarm group that we have created, we have booleans and level alarms. The boolean, this part is easy, true or false, okay? And the level alarm are the ones that are linked to an analog value, analog variable. So depending on the level of the value of the analog variable, it will trigger the alarm. We're going to see that later. So let's add into the alarm group the alarms. So alarm, in order to add the alarms, we just need to click on the alarm. Here, we just need to specify the variable. In my case, I'm going to add these 5 alarms, which are booleans. Okay. This is manual. And 5, 3, 4, and 5. Now, this alarm type, it will depend on the variable that you have in your project or in the system or the machine that you want. Okay. I'm not going to change this part, but what is important is this, the trigger condition. The trigger condition would indicate when do you want to trigger the alarm. If you don't check this, it will trigger the alarm when the value of the variable that you have defined is 0. Okay, so let's check how we can call these alarms in our application. So let's go to the screen number 1. You need to open the toolchest, and here you have the alarm summary. Drag and drop it. Size based on the application that you have. When you click this object, the alarm summary, you can see, let's go to function, you can select which groups you can use. You can select the system error groups, but in my case, I'm not going to use it. I only want to use the alarm M221, which is the one that I have configured over here. So now, once you have selected the alarm group, you have the possibility to show how do you want to show these alarms. You have the log, active, and historical. If you only want to show the variables, to indicate the variables that are active, probably the best is to use this mode, the active mode. If you only want to show that is activated and that's all, don't select this, okay? We need to exclude the return to normal, this. So we need to check this part. So if we continue this, here we can have the possibility to sort. I'm going to leave it that way. And then we have the color mode, the status. We have the possibility to select status of severity. If we select a status, it's going to be the same color. If we have, now we're going to see it. We have the color when the alarm is true and the color when the alarm is not activated. So if we select severity, okay, it will call this part the severity, and we can change from 1 to 3 if I'm not wrong, the severity. So if we, for example, change this to 1, 2, and 3, okay, the indication of the alarm will change depending on this severity that we have, okay? But in order to happen, we need to select status severity. So let's change this so I can show you. Just copy and paste status severity. Now, if we want to show more information about the alarms, we just need to go to detail in the function. Here in column, we have more information. Okay, if we have different equipments, this, we can add the alarm severity over here. Just to show you. Okay, and good. So if we simulate this, we should be able to connect with the controller, with the PLC directly, because I'm simulating the HMI. So here you can see the alarm message and everything. Okay, in my case, I haven't defined anything over here. You can see here, alarms and events, the trigger condition is unchecked. So when the value of the alarms is in false, the alarm will be activated. Okay, in this one, we have selected only, let me just check again. In the basic, we have selected by status. So all the alarms, when are activated, it shows the same color. But if we select by severity, okay, as in this one below, the color of the alarm when it's activated, it changes. And you also have this icon over here, the alarm severity, that makes another information to the customer about the severity. Okay, so if we go to the PLC part, just to show you, here you can see I haven't defined a name on the PLC, on the HMI. So let me just close this part. I just rush a little bit in here. So I'm going to define the message, okay? Over here, when you click on the alarms, you can define the message to appear. Alarm 001 activated, for example. Okay, this one 02, 3, 5, and 4. Okay, so let's simulate again this. I haven't changed the trigger condition. Okay, so all the variables are activated when I select when the variable is in false. Okay, and you can see over here, okay, these are the alarms. If I, for example, select this one, let me just double check how we just want to show this part only. I don't think it's possible. Just reorganize this. Good. So alarm 3, okay, this one. So if I select the one over here, you can see that the alarm has vanished, okay, because it's in true. So most of the cases or the application I've been working with, the Boolean variables will show that we had an alarm when the value is true. So in order to change that, what we need to do is to change this. we just need to go to, let me just reset this. In the trigger condition, we need to check all of them. Now, let's simulate again. Let me just close this. Simulate. Okay, as you can see, there is no alarms indicated. Okay. Now, if we go back to the PLC part, I'm going to activate the alarm 3. You can see here is activated. Okay, I'm going to activate the number 4. There we go. And you can see here they have, when the value is in 1, it activates the alarm. And if you use the severity, you can change the color. Okay, you can specify the color here. Okay, it changes the visualization, the default visualization for the color, okay, that we have, and it also change the icon that you have instead of seeing the number. Okay, now let's close this part. Okay, go back here. So this part, I believe, is very simple up to the severity. Before going to the parameters, let's go back to the level alarms. So for this, I'm going to create an internal variable. Okay. Alarm int. I'm going to be internal, and I'm going to link this internal variable just to show you to the level alarm. So alarm, we need to add one alarm. Then alarm int. So now we can select the alarm, select the message, analog alarm activated. Here again we have select the type, the value that we want to trigger this. For example, if it reached the number 80, it will trigger the alarm, and then we have a deadband. I'm going to show you this, how it works, and the severity is the same as we saw before. So when this alarm int reach the number 80, it will activate the alarm, okay, and in order to return to normal this alarm, we have this deadband. So when we reach the 74, it should be back to normal. So let's go back here so I can show you this. Okay, numeric display, variables here, 2 ways. Now let's simulate this. It's in the other window. Perfect. So now if I use 78, no alarm, 79, no alarms, 80, you can see here the value is activated, 81, 90 is activated, but if I go to 80, it's still on, 79 is still on, 77 still on, 75 is still on, okay, and 74, the alarm is disappear, okay. That is how it works, this deadband, okay. If we select deadband 0, simulate, you can see here that 79 is correct, 80, okay, 79, it just disappear, okay. That is how you can use with the deadband. Now, another thing that we can do with the alarm is assign this parameter. This parameter will allows you to, when you click on the alarm that you have selected, it will assign this parameter to the variable that you want. So this will allow you, for example, to show help message indication with more indication about the help or how to solve the problem that you have when the alarm is activated. So let's assign this, for example, number 10, 30, 31, and 32. The reason I'm using this tree because this one belongs to a logic that I have in the program. Okay, so let's do this. Just double check. So let's use this content that we have in order to visualize some more information. I'm going to specify content canvas, specify view box. Okay, just bear with me on this one. So I'm going to specify this size. Okay, I'm going to use the text. Solution to alarm 03. Okay, I'm going to put this in this way. To alarm 03. Now let's copy the content here, copy, paste this with the ID 31, paste 32, here alarm 4, and here alarm 5. Okay, 4, 3. So check that in the content I have already specified these numbers, okay, to match this parameter that we have over here. So what we can do now is to go here, okay, and call content display here, for example. Just move a little bit this. Okay, so based on the alarm that we have selected, we should be able to indicate the alarm, this message that we want. So if I know wrong, let me just double check. Alarm. Status. No, this is not what I want. I don't think it's this one. This. So, selected parameter. So as you can see here, you cannot link this alarm summary, alarm summary 1, select parameter, directly to the content display. So in order to do that, we need to make an extra step. So if we go to here, all variables, add folder, I'm going to change the name this for aux alarms, or integer variable, for example, indication alarm parameter. Okay, we cannot link this to the object because there is no object called in here. So what we need to do is to go to the screen that we have this alarm. Okay, in this case, this one. Select a script, and in here, window, in here, what we need to do is to, when there is a change on this object, alarm summary 1, okay, I'm going to change this name to alarm summary M221, okay, so we can identify this one instead of this one, okay. We move the actual ID to the variable that we have created. Okay, so let me just go back to here, just hold on a minute. So what we need to do is to select the conditional, the script value change. Now we need to link the object that we are going to work here, which is the object, screen object. Okay, we need to select the alarm summary that we want. Perfect. Now, it's not enough with this. We need to dot, and here select the selected parameter. Good. Now we need to move the value to the value that we want. So here we need to use the set value change. Where are you, value change? Content change. Change slide. Value change over here. So we need to set the value of this one. So I'm going to copy and paste over here to the variable that we have created. Variable. Aux alarms dot indication alarm parameter. Now we can link this one to the content ID. So if we go to the content ID variable, aux alarms, there we go. So if we simulate this, okay, good. If we select this, you can see that it changed the message that we want, okay? And if we select over here, it doesn't do anything because it's linked to this summary that we have, okay? Now, another thing that we can do is to check the global, the amount of variables that we want, that we have, okay? For example, let me just check one thing here. We can go to the script, okay, in here on the global, going to add value change again, value change here. So we have seen that depending on the alarm that we have selected, it changed the message that we want to display based on the content ID and the parameter selected. It needs to match. And what I want to do now is to change the aesthetic of the HMI when we have at least just one alarm active. So let's go back. So what we need to do is to make the value change, okay, when the alarm group based on the alarm group information. So in here, in the values, we need to select alarm group. We need to select the alarm group that we have already created, which is this one over here, alarm group. Select this one, and then we have some options here. You can see the alarms that we have, and I'm going to select the current active alarm. Current active alarm. So if this one is bigger than 1, equal to 1 or bigger than 1, we just need to change the preference of the ID set of colors. Okay, so let's go back to the tool chest. We just need to if else. Okay, if this alarm group logical comparison here, if this one is bigger than the constant number 1, bigger than 1, what we can do is to value change. Let me just value change is value change here, the target dot preferences colorsetID to a value that indicate that we have an alarm. Okay, and this one, Control C, Control V. If not, we can go to the normal state, which I believe is 4. Based on this over here, Project Explorer, when we go to the screen, okay, and select Tool Chest, color set 4, and if we have an alarm, we are going to select the ID 6. I have made already a video about the explanation of the color, so you can check it later. Here, number 6. So this will check when we have an alarm activated, it will change the color set for the HMI just to show the operator that we have an alarm. So let's go back here. I'm going to check on the PLC. I'm going to deactivate all the alarms that we have. Good. Now I'm going to simulate this. Hopefully with no error at all. Here, okay. Let me just go back to the PLC area. Now I'm going to activate this. You can see here that they have changed all the colors that we have, okay, because an alarm is activated. Okay, and if we go back here and select this alarm, it shows me the solution or more information about the alarm that we are working with. So in this video, I have already showed you how to work with Boolean and analog alarms, how to show the alarm in the HMI, and how to indicate on the HMI that you have an alarm without accessing to the alarm summary using this string. Okay, something probably I forgot is that you have different alarm mode, not only if you want to see the actual alarm, but if you want to see the historical or the log, you can use this one, log, as you can see over here. And instead of using this data time, you can use more information using this, the columns. You can select the condition, group name, and that's all, alarm summary. Okay, and if you go to this one, you can see here, date and time, it changed depend on the alarm mode that you have. If I go back to active, go detail, it shows me different options. If we go to historical, Okay, you can see there is more option when the alarm is being acknowledged, as you can see over here. Okay, acknowledge and return to normal when it's activated. So let me just, it's not going to fit here, but just to show you. Okay, yes. Okay, this is active. Let me just put the PLC over here. 0, return to normal. 1, the same one that you can see here. It changed, return to normal. 1. Okay. Now another thing that I forgot to mention is that you have the possibility to acknowledge this. So what you can do, okay, is to select the script, and on the script you have some where is it? HMI functions. Okay. Alarm group. Okay, and here you can select to acknowledge or delete the alarm. Okay, to acknowledge. So I'm going to show you this example I had made. Just change the screen to the other one. This example. So you can see here on the top that I have the possibility to select to acknowledge all, the acknowledge selected, and then also export the alarms and see which alarm I want to show. So in this case, these are the functions: switch, AC key just once. So these are just normal switch with these names. And if we go to the script, you can see here that when I click on the AC key, I use this alarm group, acknowledge, and acknowledge all the alarm group that I have selected. Okay, this is how it works. And then you have the possibility to export the alarm. Here, this is just the name. And if we go to the script, export alarm, you have this functionality, export alarm. And then you have the possibility to export the latest data you have, and then also to append to the same file that you have. You need to select which one do you want to export, the log ones or the active. This part is very simple to do. Okay, you just need to create an object that you want or an action, and then link the execution of the alarm group that you have over here in the toolchart, alarm group. Okay, and then you have the possibility also to export. Okay, so I believe this covers most of the alarms. Another thing that you can use in case you want to work with to show in the say HMI the alarms for active and from the historical is to create different content for that. For example, in my case, I have created a content only for the active, the log, and the historical. So what you need to do is to basically what I have done in previous videos, select one content, and then you can change between like a normal navigation. You can do it this way or using the navigation on the screens. One of the advantages of doing this, I like to work on this, is that in each content that I have created, you can specify the script that you want, and it will be much easier to follow. This is how I usually work. And then what you can do, okay, here, selected, in the selected, you can, in this case, just basically just one. It's the same script, alarm summary, active, and select the acknowledge. Just use the scripts, okay, for an alarm to acknowledge the alarm that you have selected. And if you have selected one alarm, remember that those alarms that you have, let's go back to our project, this one I have created, you have the possibility to link each alarm with a parameter, this parameter, so you can show more information of the alarm that is active. Okay, I believe this cover all. If I'm not wrong, I believe this everything for the alarms. So this is it at the moment. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I see you on the next one.